My dear brothers and sisters, I bring greetings to all of you from Swami Vivekananda Yoga University. First of all, I congratulate Dr. Karan Singh, particularly the IIMB Center for Corporate Governance, for bringing this most relevant topic of bringing ethics into governance of public service. Beautifully, our Vikram Singh has brought out the salient features as to how Army has been able to incorporate these dimensions by very strict training. The values had to be made as habits. And this is what we were doing in our education system in earlier times. When we used to have our education right from primary school, there was the training given to the mind to increase the willpower, to see that you adhere to the values, integrity, honesty, and transparency. This is where yoga was incorporated. Yoga is not merely asanas. Yoga is to gain mastery over the mind. One front in education, we have become very intelligent, sharp, dynamic, full of energy, and faster mind, quicker mind, brilliant mind. We have been able to do that. But this is only one part of the mastery over the mind, as Patanjali puts it. The second dimension is to calm down the mind, silence the mind, tranquil the mind, and stay in that silence as long as you want. These are the two wings for gaining mastery over the mind, for developing very robust willpower. Unfortunately, the second part has been neglected. We thought silencing of the mind is something like tamasic, laziness, drowsiness, and sleepiness. First time, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, through large number of research papers, has been able to establish this silence we are talking is not mental retardation. It is a thing which is much higher than the speeded up mind, efficient mind of sharpness and brilliance. So this has to be incorporated into our education system, and unless we do that, we will not be able to achieve things. Who doesn't know what is good, what is bad? Everybody knows. Who doesn't know that we should not have a society of corruption, scams, and others? Everybody knows it. But why do we lack in that? Because when there is a conflict in mind, the sense attractions one side, and lakhs and thousands of crores available to you in an easy measure, you succumb to that. Do you have the willpower to say, yes, I am not going to succumb to this corruption and the scams, and I will stick to my honesty and the love for the country and to discharge our duties integrity, honestly? That needs a tremendous will. And that can happen only when you bring the training to the people right from beginning. And that's what he has beautifully illustrated in the army. And this was there in our country. How we were able to build ideal social orders where there used to be no homes with locks. Everything was open. This was possible only when you have such conviction about the values. And that can happen when you have the training of the mind. Realizing this, our Prime Minister made such a big thing to bring yoga to the world spectrum by International Day of Yoga. And all of you know, June 21st, the International Day of Yoga was supported by a large number of countries. 173 countries endorsing and sponsoring. And in one stroke, it went round the globe. 45 Islamic countries. And all religions, everybody came forward. And then was the challenge, how we are going to celebrate this. So we were given an opportunity to put together all the yoga institutions together. This was the biggest challenge. And what we are going to practice on that day, a common protocol has to be developed. And we said that how we are going to be, how long it is to be done. We have a number of delegations and a lot of meetings. Finally, we said that we all have to sacrifice for the country. Each one of us have our own specialities of using different techniques of yoga. Sudarshan Yoga from Shishi, maybe Kapalabhati from Swami Ramdev, and Vipassana from others. Different techniques have been used for this thing. So everybody said we have to project. Then we said, no, let us go to the roots, our ancient tradition texts that are available. We will take only those things which are available in our traditional texts, and these are all specialities and super specialities. And we worked on that and brought out this beautiful protocol. The second dimension was we have to give a very comprehensive, holistic protocol of yoga, not merely only asanas. So it should be a total personality development of the persons, consisting of the physical, mental, emotional, intellectual dimension. And that is what we achieved in this thing. And then what a fantastic thing, it went round the globe. On June 21st, 2015, 20 crores of people practice this all over the country, in our country, and all over the world. Nearly 200 countries practice this thing. Now this year, in the second International Day of Yoga, we wanted to take it further. 35 crores of people practice this protocol, slightly modified and improvised compared to the last time. But our Prime Minister was very, very clear that it should not be a one-day affair. It has to be brought into the education system. So all the yoga experts in the country joined together to form the common syllabus for the school education. Unless we bring yoga to the education system to develop that will and train them systematically, we will not be able to solve this problem that we are facing. And that's what we did. The syllabus have been formed. The National Council of Teacher Educators, we train 13 lakhs of teacher educators every year, has brought out this and made yoga compulsory for the teacher educators. NCERT came forward and said, yes, we are going to introduce yoga into the school curriculum, and starting from class 5 up to class 12. Then came the HRD, that we had to bring it to the higher education and bring about a syllabus that we all formed together. The team and the committee was formed, and I was given the opportunity to be the chairman of that committee, all this, and we formed and we submitted this report to the HRD recently, about a month back, and soon they took a decision, yes, we are going to start the Department of Yoga in 6 central universities. And the whole dimension of yoga has been brought forth. And this is how the whole country is now having a big change to bring about the necessary dimension of the missing dimension in our education system. So Vivekananda used to tell us, yes, unless we bring the right education to the system, we will not be able to make it. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man, he said. It should bring total personality development with a national awareness, with social urge, with the values, and the dimension of spiritual zeal. All this consciousness has to be built into that. Over the last 50 years, we have been working on this field of education, and we have built large number of schools in Arunachal Pradesh. You must see the students, how they have blossomed like beautiful flowers with total personality development. And in the university, our university have come up exclusively for the yoga dimension. Similarly, we are bringing this thing. But at the same time, we have to bring in the best of the West with the best of the East. So Swami Vivekananda said, use the best of the West, modern scientific research, and bring that to the Eastern wisdom base of yoga. So when you join together, you have got a new effervescence that comes up. And that's what we have been doing, and we are promoting. All over the country, we are promoting this yoga research and bring about the dimension. And this dimension of development of the willpower is very, very necessary, not only for our own growth, but for the health scenario. All these modern ailments, essentially, the non-communicable diseases, asthma, diabetes, hypertension, heart problem, epilepsy, migraine, irritable bowel syndrome, cancer, all these things have one thing, that is lack of willpower. And that is the one that causes a big imbalance in the manomaya kosha, or the mind level, because we have grown gigantic on one front. On the other front of calming of the mind, we are pygmies. That big imbalance comes to the physical frame, causes stress reaction, endocrine and autonomic imbalance, and percolates down to the physical body, gradually turning itself into the diseases. This is called adhi becoming the vyadhi. Unless you remove the adhi, you have no solution. That's why we have all the best of the hospitals and the best of the specialists and super specialists, tremendous amount of research, and we have been able to have such diagnostic tools, and we have such surgeries, 5,000 types of surgeries. You can replace every part of the body. And we are even rushing ahead and racing ahead to change our genes, to change the behavioral pattern. But we have no solution. Once a diabetic, ever a diabetic. Once you have cancer, your days have been numbered to pass. Why? The root cause has not been removed. Therefore, over the last 45 years, we've been working to bring in this total dimension of the holistic approach to deal with the health. And what a shame when we see the corporate with all the richness suffering from heart attack and this thing, younger and younger generations coming with a heart attack. Narayan Hudayalaya, our Devi Shetty says, now I started getting people at 23, 24 and having a heart attack and strokes. What a shame. Where we have to be bubbling with joy, enthusiasm, energy, and vitality and positive health. We're gone like this. Why? The root cause has to be done, the stress and other. This is what yoga can do. Therefore, we have brought yoga into the health scenario, and large number of corporates have started taking to the yogic dimension and bring integrated approach of yoga therapy, we call, and we have published nearly 500 papers on various dimensions of the diseases, and we are forging ahead. And recently, in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, this integrated approach of the yoga and naturopathy has been brought forth, and a new center to deal with health. We must have a new healthcare delivery system in which we have the best of the East with the best of the West again. And we should be able to see that we bring the most cost-effective thing, very effective treatment modality with least secondary effects and long-term rehabilitation to prevent disease and to promote positive health. This is what we have been able to do, and we are forging ahead to bring about this all over the country and see that we grow all over the world. This is how we are taking forward to bring in this dimension of yoga, and thereby the ethics are going to come up in the corporate sector and also the world over. Thank you once again. Congratulations to Charan Singh for your wonderful initiative. Dhanyavad.